Hey, this is Bryan Hatch, and wanted to jump into another tribute to my grandpa. And I want to introduce you to a conversation that I had, my wife and I had with my grandpa just a few years back. And I was trying to understand, I'd heard different versions of the stories about how he tended sheep, and I know I've talked about this multiple times, but I still want to be able to go in and hear from my grandpa how it was for him, what happened to him. And so I want to just jump you right into a conversation that we had. I'll step out of this one. You'll be able to hear my grandpa. For those that are friends and family members of my grandpa, I think you'll really enjoy this episode. And so check it out. Listen to what my grandpa says about sheep herding, and I hope you'll enjoy this, and I'll see you next time.
Lots of times you'd usually go out with the sheep until maybe 8 o'clock. They'd feed. They'd been feeding for a couple of hours. They'd be kind of full, and so they'd kind of settle down and lay down under the shade of a tree or something. So you could go back into camp and get some breakfast, and then come back later and get your sheep when they started roaming off again.
Yeah. Did you ever lose any?
Lose any?
Any sheep?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Whoops.
There's times, what you do, you had what you call markers.
Okay.
Sometimes you'd have black sheep in your herd.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes you get a black one and you keep it in there. Or some of them you'd have a bell around their neck.
Okay.
So the ones with bells, you call them bells and blacks. And you would have maybe one marker for every 50 head of sheep.
Okay.
So if you had 1,000 head in your sheep, you'd probably have 20 markers.
Okay.
And so you see them feeding it, you could pretty well count your markers. If you knew you had 8 black sheep, you could kind of see them as they were around. But if one of them came up missing, it meant there's probably 50 to 100 sheep with it someplace,
Because that's how they roll, right?
Yeah. The ones with bells, same thing. Sometimes if you get things, sometimes I remember Russell and I herding together when I was maybe 9 or 10 and he was 11 or 12, And we'd think, well, golly, we're supposed to have 1,000 head in there, but it doesn't look like 1,000. So we better count them. So we'd take them where there was a fence and there was a gate there. You could run them through the gate. And you could count them as they went through, count the markers as they went through. And if you counted the markers, you got them all, or you could count all the sheep.
Okay.
If you're going to count them, well, you'd get a handful of rocks. Say you expected there to be 1,000 sheep, you'd get 10 rocks in your hand. And then every time you got to 100, you'd throw a rock away. And if you got to the end of your sheep before you got to the end of the rocks, you're missing some sheep.
You're like, oh dear, missing a few sheep here.
And so you knew pretty well where they'd go. So they'd go up over that hill down into the next canyon where there's a stream of water. And so you go up over that hill and down in there, and sure enough, there'd be all your sheep in there,
And would you leave the herd you had, or would you just herd the big herd that you had
you'd
up
have
over?
to leave them and go get your ones that you needed.
Yeah.
You could leave them. In the middle of the day, sheep would shade up. They'd get under a shade tree and go to sleep for 2 or 3 hours. So you would have time then to go
get that
looking for other sheep.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Huh.
Very cool.
But you had an idea where they would go if they were missing.
And would you just kind of just go within how many mile radius? I mean, would you just kind of hit at the same mile radius, or would it be always different and let the foliage kind of grow again and come back? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you would go. Well, the ranch up in Utah, the ranch had there were 3 canyons that went north and south through
Okay.
there. And you may go up one side of the canyon and then back down the other side of the canyon. And then go up the next canyon, up one side and back. And by the time you've done that, why, there'd be feet grown up where
Okay,
you'd
they
left, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But there was a distance of about, I'd say about 20 square miles there.
Okay.
About 5 miles by 4 miles.
Okay.
And you just plan ahead as to where you're going to let them feed the next day. Didn't have to worry much about where you'd been because that was
Okay.
all fed off.
Got it. Now I gotta go back that way.
You'd see they didn't get too far off into where tomorrow's feed's going to be,
Yeah.
you know. And there's some places where the feed was so much that you just turned them loose, they wouldn't even move for a
They ain't
couple
going
of days.
anywhere.
You could just leave them and go
Eat it
fishing
all
for a
up.
day.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is funny. That is funny.
Did you do that?
That
Did you
was
leave? Did you go fishing for a day and leave the
Yeah.
sheep? Yeah.
Hey, nice.
Yeah. Get them on Model A and take off. Go
That's
fishing.
awesome.
As long as you had your gallon of oil, you could do that, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fun. So you would do that all summer long for like 3 months straight,
Yeah.
every summer since you turned.
From the day school let out till the day school started.
Oh my goodness! So summer break was not a break for you
No.
at all.
Well, you got to read a lot of books.
dude, I mean,
There was stuff to do. I'm
book
sure it wasn't
reading,
like you were.
occasional fishing trips. But like you weren't hanging out with your friends, just goofing off, acting like a
No.
yahoo. Okay,
No.
hardworking grandpa.
And it was a 24-hour-a-day job, you know.
Yeah,
24 and a half.
24 and a half.
Yeah.
So did you ever have any like you say there were coyotes? Did you ever experience like your sheep getting hurt by the coyotes at all, or any bears or random? I don't know.
It was very usual to get up and find that a coyote had killed one of your sheep during the night.
Okay,
It was not uncommon at all.
you never had any coyotes try to get you though, did you?
No.
Oh, that's good.
Did you ever shoot any, or did you ever pick off any?
I shot at him. I don't think I ever killed one, but I tried to rope one once.
Oh,
You got a rope one. Nice.
I roped him and he just turned around and bit my lariat and just bit it in two.
Oh, I bet.
Really?
Shark
Just
teeth.
snapped it off and left.
Hmm.
I never thought I'd ever catch him, but I caught
Yeah,
him.
that's awesome.
Did
Like
you get
it
it around his
happened.
neck, or would you
Yeah.
get him? Yeah.
Wow,
On his neck.
that's impressive.
That's awesome.
That's
How old
awesome.
were you about when that happened?
Oh, I was probably 18.
18.
Yeah.
That's cool.